Andreas, let's switch for a moment to the marketing term Zero Trust that I don't really like, but only because it is a buzzword that's overused because everyone's Zero Trust and AI everything. It really burns those of us that have been working in that space long before those terms even existed and applied those technologies. But in our process of doing the default denial, to me, that's a more technically accurate description. When we do default denial, we basically treat every destination IP address as a stranger until it is not. And the way it is not a stranger is that the DNS query was made, matched to a policy, and then a protective resolver said that's safe and here it is. And the policy engine says, yes, you're allowed to go there, right? So that process. And you pointed out when I chatted with you about, I found it really quite intriguing because I had not seen that one particular threat before, where attackers can actually utilize the serial number of the start of authority record and map it such that it maps back to an IPv4 address. Tell us more about that.
This is actually something that I just saw at another webinar, and I guess it was some guy from Infoblox from, I guess,
yes,
Poland or Czech Republic. He made the original presentation where I saw that first, and they immediately tested it, and it just worked. And I used it during an event that I attended recently to demonstrate how easy you can put stuff into DNS, and if it's not observed properly, then you can just, and the funny thing is you don't even have to recalculate the serial number into an IP address. When you use ping on your command line, for example, you can ping a serial number because it's just 32 bits. Right. So that means you don't have to recalculate it and add some dots between the octets. You can just ping it. It just works. And it's something that it's always funny and scary at the same time what you can do with DNS. There's a collection that a guy called Peter Lowe is collecting since many years. So it's some funny stuff that people do with DNS. So they use it to stream MP3s, for example. This is possible. So they actually store MP3s in public resolvers, and they have on the other part of the world they have the capability to read that and play music. So stuff like that is possible. It's something that is there since ever. It's a 40-plus-year-old protocol, and because of that, it's like in our environment as well. So when you I guess you grew up when a fridge was already available. I'm pretty sure that when you came home, there was a fridge in the apartment or in the house. So this is something that you are used to. So you're not taking much attention to how the fridge is behaving, what energy it is consuming. Is it clean, for example? Is it cleaned more often so to avoid some bacterials and stuff like that? Because it had always been there. There was food in it all the time, so you're not taking much attention to bringing much attention to it. And it's the same with DNS, and especially when the team that is maintaining the DNS infrastructure just inherited from somebody else that is no longer with the company. Yeah, it works, and there's this very, very valuable phrase that never touch a running system, which it has some relevance, of course. So if it's working, don't touch it. But just because it's not broken doesn't mean it's working.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned Peter Lowe, and he was actually the one who introduced me to DNS.toys. I'm not even sure if .toys is a valid top-level domain, but whoever runs that, I'd like to give them credit because there's a really cool stuff. I actually created a conditional forwarding rule on my network because there's like really cool things that you can do, like get a command line quick report of the weather in your geo-centric area.
That's another example. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Really, really very cool. But anyway, when you pointed that thread out to me, I thought I need to really figure out, how this works. And I was very excited to have the same emotion repeat when we see a new threat that we haven't seen before. How does this whole approach of default denial, or what we call don't talk to strangers, Microsoft, by the way, at Ignite now announced general availability of the Microsoft Zero Trust DNS, which does that same approach on Windows 11 Enterprise or Windows 11 Pro Education. It's available as long as the device is enrolled in mobile device management. You can basically push a DOH profile to the Windows endpoint and then have that Windows endpoint use that DOH service only, and then it integrates with the Windows filtering platform to basically apply the same thing to a Windows endpoint. And so we're excited because finally we're not the only ones in the world that are saying this is the way to do egress control and proper default deny all.